Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everyone who is in the building early. All right. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, then give me a thumbs down or an angry face. And we're going to get this party started. I'm going to shout out everybody that's in the building. All right. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's good with it, Brooklyn Queen? Make sure y'all throw some flames and some radiation emoji in the chat for my man DSB with the 11 months of membership. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Shout out to Miss Nisi. We got Carlton Way in the building. Shout out to my man Steve Alhala. Shout out to AB Promotions. Shout out to Crew Reality. I see you, bro. Shout out to Porter. All right. Who else we got in here? Shout out to Val Williams and shout out to Carla Lockhart. All right. It is good to see everybody. So we're going to ask the question today. If they celebrate Robert E. Lee, George Washington, then my question is, should we praise Julius, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly, Malema? Now, how many people know who Julius Malema is? If y'all know who he is, let me know. Shout out to Porter. Porter got a Julius Malema t-shirt. Now, why am I asking this question? I'm asking this question because I want to see if y'all see what I see. Do you see what I see? Hypocrisy. Right? Now, we should let bygones be bygones. Right? But the people that tell us that we should let bygones be bygones are very appreciative and hold in high regards their ancestors that commit serious harm to us, past and present. They praise these people. How many gangs pride themselves with swastikas and SS lightning bolts? How many people pride themselves on, quote unquote, states' rights of the Confederate flag? Okay. Let bygones be bygones. But you ain't letting bygones be bygones, though. So I don't think we should let bygones be bygones. And if people are getting energy from worshiping people who hurt us, well, I think that everybody should have a portrait of Neferkari, Dessalines, Nat Turner, and Julius Malema in their home. Get your kids the action figures. Tell them to be like Killmonger when they get older. Now, the thing that's interesting about this is that Julius Malema, he sells wolf tickets. And I want you guys to see how butthurt people are over the wolf tickets. Y'all know what wolf tickets are, right? That's now wolf tickets. You know what I'm saying? That's some FBA slang. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what wolf tickets are, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. If you don't know what wolf tickets are, go read Powernomics, or you know what I'm saying? Go read Dirty Little Secret or something like that. I'm saying everybody know what wolf tickets are. Old school saying facts. If you don't know what wolf tickets are, you either new school, you know what I'm saying? You either young or you either fronting. You know what I mean? Julius Malema, he sells a lot of wolf tickets. And that's it. That's it. But now, the wolf tickets, the people that are talked about in the wolf tickets, man, they act like them wolf tickets hurt. And you know why they act like them wolf tickets hurt? Because you're just not supposed to be saying anything. You're not supposed to be saying anything at all. But see, he does. You know, if it was up to the population at large and the international dominant society, the international dominant society would have you believe that Julius Malema is the one who instituted apartheid in South Africa because they can't handle it. Now, here's my thing. If selling wolf tickets disrupts their activities that much, my question for everybody is, how come all of us aren't millionaires from wolf ticket sales? We should be scalping wolf tickets right in front of the arena. Shout out to Ryan Glenn. What's good with it? Would you guys agree? I want you guys to look at how woke conservatives sound over South Africa. They sound real woke. To me, it sounds like Julius Malema just isn't really interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion in South Africa. It sounds to me like Julius Malema just wants South Africa to be the best for South Africans. But a minority doesn't think that that's how it should be. The people like Elon Musk. Elon Musk was big butthurt about this. He was making all kind of funny faces. Because you know that's what he does, is makes funny faces and runs companies into the ground. Because he's not that smart. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, if you can draw mutilated pictures of Kobe Bryant and Elijah McClain and George Floyd, well, then surely, you know, if somebody sings a song about getting you out of a place that you don't need to be at, that's what you encourage, right? The same way they encourage us to create an oppressive system to maintain our survival. Because they've said that that's okay. Matter of fact, they faulted us for not doing it and taunted us, saying that they did it first. They won. When nobody was really supposed to be at war all like that. Now, here go my question. Everything that I just said, am I making that up? Or is this stuff that has actually been said? Well, the way that I live is that I take everything serious. You would think that I smoke, you would think that I stuff an entire twomp in a blunt, as paranoid as I am. I take everything serious. So when people tell me that I need to do what they have done to me, and if I don't, then that makes me the loser. Well, then that tells me that I need to come, shout out to Keep It 100, with that Killmonger energy all the time. Shout out to John Guillory, shout out to Vega. Right? If they want to come with that Robert E. Lee, Andrew Jackson, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. Well, we need to be coming with that. John Horse, Nat Turner, Neferkari, Julius Malema. They're inviting us to do it, taunting us, basically telling us if we don't do that, then where we are now is where we're going to always be. Which is why in an oppressive world, the oppressed don't have a choice but to embrace villainy. You don't have a choice but to embrace villainy because the people who are in charge are literally telling you that's the only way out of this. The only way out of this is that you have to become more of a monster than we are. And if you don't have the gall to become that monster, well, I guess you just deserve your circumstance. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to DSB with the 99-cent super sticker. But now, when you keep poking somebody and you keep poking somebody and you keep poking somebody and you keep telling them that they got to become a monster in order to live, when that person becomes a bigger and more scary monster than you, don't go hide under the bed. Don't go hide under the bed because the bed's not going to save you. Real quick, shout out to my man Lloyd Sky 9. Second stream sponsor with the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. My man says sending support, most informative channel on YouTube. I'm humbled. I appreciate that, bro. So what kind of defense is there for white South Africans? Now, ex-users are defending white South Africans as Julius Malema rises in popularity. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, Julius Malema is the white South African Trump. He's galvanizing people off of nationalism, pointing out the villains. You know how the people here point at us and say that those ones that want reparations are the ones that commit all the crimes? Well, Julius Malema says, yo, them people that got all the farms, they stole all your shit, which is true. Elon Musk family and all them, it's true. He's not supposed to say that. Now, here goes my question. Where were these conservatives during apartheid? Oh, I know where they were at. They were busy calling Nelson Mandela woke. Because, you know, South Africans just don't have a claim to South Africa, which is one of the reasons why I don't believe in the out of Africa theory. Because the out of Africa theory makes it too easy for the rest of the world to try to say that they all have a claim to Africa. Africans have a claim to Africa the same way Asians have a claim to Asia. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man AB Promotion, the fourth stream sponsor, embracing villainy. Facts. That is the instructions that they give you. See, when you put the Rubik's Cube together, the only combination of the Rubik's Cube that'll get the cube the way that it's supposed to be is embracing villainy. And also, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Miss Nisi with the $5 super sticker. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure y'all throw some radiation emoji in the chat and some flames and show some love. Definitely appreciate it. So my question is, where were these ex-users during the apartheid? Because many of them were alive and many of them had parents that were alive. And I guarantee you that they weren't supporting the anti-apartheid movement. So now, why is it that fighting the international WS community is somehow anti-white. But we're just going to ignore the notion of the apartheid as anti-black. Let me ask you guys a question. What kind of reparations or what kind of repair did the Netherlands and the European countries do as far as fixing what they destroyed in South Africa? What did they do? How did they fix that? We're sorry. What did they do? Anybody know? Shout out to Beach Material. What's good with it, bro? Beach Material says, are you going to talk about the EFF? I'm not exactly sure what that is, bro. What's the EFF? If you find me on Twitter or join the Discord and throw me some information in there, I'll definitely check it out. And once I get the research up, you know what I'm saying, I'll definitely throw it into circulation. Nothing. They did nothing. So let me ask you guys this. When you do something to somebody and you don't do anything to try to fix it, even if you do something to try to fix it, the moment that you've done something, that's the party that Malema represents. Okay. All right, appreciate you, Porter. I'm gonna definitely look into them. I'm gonna keep researching them. When you do something to somebody, you open up a can of worms. You open up a Pandora's box, and that Pandora's box that you open up is now you've created a debt situation, and you've created a debt situation to the extent where that person that you did something against, that person is within their rights to make the situation how they see fit correct. You don't get to make the rules. The rules was you should have left everybody alone. But you broke that rule. And I want you guys to see the hypocrisy. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to these conservatives, when it comes to these white South Africans, these are victims. These are the kind of victims that they say we are. You literally still have all of the wealth in South Africa. You're literally still running around there bullying black people. We just saw a video last year where they were terrorizing a black family in South Africa at a swimming pool. How many people remember that? Where the two adult white men were attacking the black kids at the swimming pool. You guys remember that? And you're crying about a song. These people are just as woke as they claim anybody else is, which is one of the reasons why when they start whining, you should talk louder instead of not talking at all. As far as I'm concerned, anybody that brings this type of reaction out of them folks, that's a hero to me. Villain to them, hero to me. Same way their ancestors are a villain to me and a hero to them, this a hero to me, villain to you. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Val Williams with the $5 super sticker. Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure you guys show her some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat and some flames. Shout out to Sybil. Yo, and also make sure you guys show Sybil some love. Sybil joined the Patreon, which definitely helps to support the channel. And I want to make sure that I show some love for that. So definitely appreciate it. And also shout out to the people that have been contributing on PayPal. If you leave your username, I will shout you all out when I check my PayPal. I don't really check my PayPal like every day or like that, but once I check it, I'll definitely give everybody an acknowledgement. But I don't want to give, I don't know how comfortable people are with, what I'm saying, their names being put out there and all that. So I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I, give acknowledgement to the appropriate identity. You know what I'm saying? So you're not unappreciated. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody. You know what I'm saying? This is woke. This right here is literally the exact same thing that they claim that we're doing. And now, here comes the icing on the cake. If you don't like it, then go back to the Netherlands. Go back to the Netherlands. Go make the Netherlands great again. You know what I'm saying? So this is an article from Independent News, and it says ex-users are defending white South Africans as Julius Malema rises in popularity. Now, if these conservatives were actually conservatives, then they would question why these white people are in South Africa and not contributing to a strong Europe. Oh, that's right. Africa is the reason why a strong Europe exists. I forgot. You know what I'm saying? My bad. Shout out to you, Law. What's good with it? And ladies and gentlemen, shout out to DSB for becoming a member. I'm pretty sure DSB was already a member. The topic of white South Africans being harmed is a recurring topic among conservative Americans. Now, again, conservative Americans will be the first people to tell you to focus on America. America first. Not supposed to be South Africa first, it's supposed to be America first. Why are you focusing on South Africa? Why are you in South African business? The same reason I'm in South African business, because I'm nosy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Val Williams with the 16 months of membership support. Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure y'all show her some love. You guys, the members are an extremely important part of the channel. So please make sure you guys show them some love. And shout out to Carla for the 16 months of membership. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, and I got to agree with Marley K. That's one of the reasons why, if you look at all of the investment papers, all of those little countries in Africa, they call it the quote unquote emerging markets. Most emerging markets are either in Africa or somewhere, some poor country in Asia. None of the emerging markets are countries that are doing really well right now. You know what I'm saying? So now, for the most part, many fear that his rhetoric may be imported to America in the coming years. So, y'all got it. What y'all worried about? We've had to worry about European rhetoric and anti-blackness spreading throughout the entire world. If one or two wolf tickets that Julius Malema sells gets put on a couple shirts or some merchandise here in the United States, you just gonna have to deal with it. Let me ask you guys this: how much money do you all think that them folks have generated from Civil War reenactments, selling Confederate flags, shirts and gear with SS lightning bolts on it? How much money y'all think they generated? That's rhetoric. That's propaganda. You see those symbols, you know what time it is. Well, you hear some Malema, you know what time it is. They scared of a little competition? Yes. That's the answer is yes. South Africa has had a troubled past, but unfortunately, it seems that troubled past may return, but in a different form. Now, what are the signs that the quote-unquote troubled past may return in a different form? Nobody was running to South Africa's rescue to save black people when it was white people harming and genociding black people in South Africa. And now, because people are selling wolf tickets, they are up in arms and they fear that the table has turned. Well, I don't know if they're aware, but they've done what they've done in more places than just South Africa. And there's a lot of places that are way more capable than South Africa that have control over their government. When you do a lot of dirt, you get a lot of dirty. Keep on bragging about how you civilize the world. Keep on bragging about how much better you are than everybody else. Keep on bragging about how you destroyed all them countries and all of these continents that all these other people come from. Keep on bragging about it. Keep on defiling people's monoliths. Keep on trolling people's dead relatives and dead ancestors. Keep on. Just understand what you're inviting when you do that. And when somebody finally cashes in that invitation, don't run from the party. Go to the front of the line to get into the party. These people literally sat around and thought that people were going to take their nonsense for an eternity. They literally thought that they were going to turn the world into their heaven and everybody else's hell. That's not sustainable. Just like the migrant crisis. And even though that's nowhere near close to happening, just peep game at how terrified people are. They're so scared. Why are they so scared? Now, if anything shows the fragility, this shows the fragility. How do you completely destroy a continent? And when those people say the first way to clean up the continent is to get all the dirt out, you crying that that's anti-white. But we're not going to talk about our anti-black history that we had there. Man, listen. As far as I'm concerned, man, Malema merchandise should be like the #1 selling item, you know what I'm saying, in the world. You know how they used to say protect Kevin Samuels at all costs? As far as I'm concerned, they need to protect Julius Malema at all costs. The same way they protect them Robert E. Lee statues. These people love everything that harmed and defaced us. They made a song for Florida University called The Gator Bait. All of these places in the United States, Dead Negro Holler. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if you want to run around and celebrate people that harm us, don't be surprised when you get that energy back at you. Don't be surprised when we drinking your tears like it's dollar draft night at the Tear Factory. None of this had to be like this. And what you got to pay attention to is that when these people make the first moves, they try to act like they didn't do anything wrong. Never, ever fall back on it. Never, ever fall back on it. Always move in on it. Always fall forward on it. Nobody on this nonsense. Don't nobody care about none of these tiers. They haven't paid one dime to fix anything in any of these places that they ruined. They haven't put any kind of reinvestment. The only thing that they've been doing is, on top of all of the damage that they did, now they have think tanks and businesses that are paid to go on the world stage and try to tell everybody else in the rest of the world that all of the circumstances that we got going on all over the world are all our fault. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if those South African farmers are stuck in a death trap, hey, it ain't like they FBA. Nobody threatened their life if they didn't go there. Nobody put a gun to their head and made them go there. Can't say the same about our ancestors. So I don't feel sorry for this. As far as I'm concerned, keep on triggering them. Literally, anytime one of these police departments or ambulances, like the EMTs that deleted Elijah McClain, anytime they come out and they get shown for making fun of the death, like how they made fun of Kobe Bryant's death, the fire department, people should show pictures of that on social media and say, this right here is the reason why people like Julius Malema exist. Shout out Julius Malema. This is why people like him exist. Now, if you want to take credit for making something, they like to take credit for making something. They take so much credit for making stuff that don't nobody know any of the inventions that we invented. So if you want to take credit for making something, make sure you take credit for making Julius Malema. Well, if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for white people, America wouldn't be great. If it wasn't for white people, the world wouldn't be civilized. Well, if it wasn't for slavery, then black people would have never got them skills that we got, right, Ron DeSantis? Well, hey, by that same logic, if it wasn't for white people, South African farmers would probably be a lot more safe these days. Pick your poison and then swallow it. In August, the New York Times states at a colluding political rally, the fiery leader of the South African leftist party, Julius Malema, energized supporters with the chant, "Delete the Boer," referencing white farmers. Amidst thousands joining in at Johannesburg Stadium, this fervor and sparked controversy when a video circulated online, sparking accusations of inciting violence, particularly from some American far-right groups and Elon Musk. Yo, listen, man, as far as I'm concerned, as long as they sing the national anthem, shout out to them South Africans that sing "Delete the Boer." As long as they sitting up there playing that Gator Bait anthem at Florida State, hey, shout out to Kill the Boer. Long as y'all got all those memes of all the dead din dudes, like they like to call us, hey, kill the Boer. How did the Boer come into existence? Shout out to Caldona. Facts. If it wasn't for white people, wouldn't nobody be saying kill the Boer? Would they? Now, how do the people that want themselves a ethno state find themselves in the middle of way sub-Saharan Africa? Sound like a personal problem. Hey, listen, man, if I'm in the middle of the jungle and a whole bunch of bears start circling me and they are growling, which, when I'm listening to them growling, I'm hearing them chant the song Kill the Human. Hey, we got cities. I ain't really supposed to be in the jungle like that. So now I'm subject to the devices of the jungle. You got a nice clean place. Now you subject to the devices of the environment that you created. Because remember, they created everything, including that environment that's now threatening to devour them. How many people feel bad about this? Now, shout out to everybody that's watching. We've had 9 stream sponsors so far. Anybody that feels horrible about this, by all means, instead of supporting this platform, you can donate some much needed funds to some of those rich white farmers in South Africa who are oppressing black people over there as we speak, but are triggered highly by a song. Also, they get military training from them folks that's over there fighting in Gaza. I don't know if people were aware of that. And also, I don't know if people were aware that them folks that's over there fighting in Gaza were against the anti-apartheid movement. How many people were aware of that? They were against it. And so was the United States. Maybe that's why these far-right people here in the United States are scared. You guys remember when Luke Skywalker told Yoda, he said, "I'm not scared." And Yoda said, "You will be. You will be." You guys remember that? Oh, they can go ahead and act like they're not scared. You should be. You should be. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, despite its provocative nature, Malema and experts on the anti-apartheid movement emphasize that the chant, a historical battle cry, isn't a literal call to violence. Well, what's interesting about it is that the apartheid was an actual call to violence. Who did anything to intervene in that? This is what I'm saying. Words make these people go into a frenzy. How many people saw when people's heads popped off and steam started coming out of their ears when Brandon Johnson simply mentioned reparations? Now, what's funny about it is that these people are so obtuse and out of touch that if they were actually in touch, then they would know that don't nobody take Brandon Johnson seriously anyway. But they're so out of touch and they have such a need to control their own false narrative that they spazzed all the way out. Look at how they spazzing all the way out about this. If you ask me, they should be in a constant state of spazzing all the way out. Now, when I say spaz, I want to make this clear. I'm not talking about people that have seizures. I'm not talking about people that have any kind of medical condition. I'm talking about having a spontaneous overreaction to a particular situation. And when the cancel mob comes, I'm not going to apologize for using that word. Like how Beyonce and Lizzo did. If I've already told you the context that I'm using a word in, I'm not going to keep sitting up here apologizing. What I'm going to do is now I'm just going to start saying nasty and vile stuff about you and let you know exactly what it's like if I'm actually talking about you, so that you can tell the difference, so you don't get it mixed up next time. I'm tired of people bending the knee. And that's one of the reasons why I like how this dude doubles down when he says stuff that triggers these people, because he triggered President Trump. Shout out to Shamika. What's good with it, Shamika? Trump was big triggered about Julius Malema. Oh, well. Why do these people think that they can go around and do the stuff that they do and nobody do anything back? This is how you know that these people are nothing but baseless, skillless bullies. And this is one of the reasons why I tell people, literally, all you got to do is just stand up for yourself. All you got to do is just not back down. Literally, you will watch an epic meltdown occur right in front of you. There's literally nothing behind any of this nonsense except for hot air. When people realize how much hot air is behind WS and how it's not what everybody makes it out to be, the moment you actually see a mechanical failure in it, how quickly it falls like a bunch of dominoes, people will be turning in their graves talking about, why didn't we do this earlier? Well, you didn't do it earlier because you didn't embrace villainy. You wanted to embrace civility. You wanted to embrace morality. You wanted to embrace everybody need a chance now. Shout out to my man KO Kid Fit. When you looked at your watch, it said good time. It didn't say demon time. That's why. You want to play clean instead of play dirty. You want to be the good guy instead of being the bad guy. Everybody's good guy is a bad guy to somebody. And everybody's bad guy is a good guy to somebody else. So now here it says, originating from the struggle against the apartheid regime, it gained prominence in the 90s. Now, we'll just say this in a blurb, and that's just it. We're not going to talk about the apartheid, not going to talk about what the apartheid did, not going to talk about what the apartheid is still doing. We're not going to talk about any of that, because why talk about any of that? It doesn't matter. Let me ask you guys this question. Has South Africa fully recovered from the apartheid regime? If they have, give me a thumbs up. If they have not, then give me a thumbs down. And also, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 48 people watching, and we got 39 likes. If everybody can take a moment and smash that like button and get us to 60 likes, that'd be great. Has South Africa recovered from the apartheid regime? Has anywhere where there's been colonization or slavery recovered? Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention, right? You know how I be calling people Adosos, American descendants of slave owners? Would you all go as far as to say that the international WS community are the descendants of the actual colonizers? Spain, France, London. It's amazing how all of those countries are still together in the European Union, working together to continue to encapsulate the world. So it would be safe to say that the G20, the UN, the international WS community, the European Union, those are descendants of and assets of the OG colonizers. So all they've done is just change the name. That's just like having a YouTube channel. You just change the name of the YouTube channel. That's just like, at first they was Black Light Revelations 4. Now they reacts. That's all they did. All of the power that they stole, they used that power to build what looks like legitimate organizations. All they did was did the street model. They did the same thing people do on the street to launder money. You get the money in a criminal way, then you reinvest the criminal money into a legitimate business. And then you put the focus on your legitimate business to take the focus off of your criminal enterprise. The European Union did it. Colonizers did it. Motorcycle gangs did it. Mafia did it. Hunter Biden did it. Trump did it. Malema's embrace of this chant has given his party's advocacy for redistributing land troubles some white communities. Well, for one, how is there a white community in South Africa? Let's address that. Redistributing land? You mean returning stolen property? Go ahead and redistribute that land. And if anybody stands in the way, then redistribute their remains to their family. Literally nobody should be defending these people. And shout out to Torian Rain. There go Torian Rain's favorite Twitter account, End Wokeness, with the Chad. Let's look at this.
Must never be scared to kill.
I already like what he's saying. I already like it. He said, nigga, do not ever be afraid to embrace villainy. And I have a question for the boy. Why are you gay? That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point...
a revolution! Don't play with me. Man, shout out to him, man. Shout out to him, man. I'm not mad at him, man.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we've not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's Trillmonger right there. You know what I'm saying? He said, at least for now. Oh, man. He said, listen here. You have nothing to worry about right now.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we have not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
You are still safe to continue this interview. You are still safe. We can still continue this interview. You are not in any immediate danger yet. Oh, man. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocidal call.
Cry babies.
Facts. Crybaby. You're sounding woke. You're sounding woke. Facts. How many songs in the United States? Oh, we just had one. Tried in a small town, tried in a sundown town. They cheer on tried in a sundown town. But they mad about this? I want y'all to understand, these people don't mean anything that they say. Literally, they say all the stuff that they say because they believe that people are mentally conditioned to where if you do the stuff that they say, you're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny. And I want y'all to pay very close attention to the context where I'm coming from with this. All right. I'm not Larry Elder. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Thomas Sowell. I'm saying this from a villainy perspective. Everything that these people say that you should do, you actually should do. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, bet. And once we get them bad boys laced up, guess who's going to be under the boot? Well, you all are just mad because, quote unquote, we won. Okay, well, now that we know that there's a game and a competition going on, when the score starts to get even, or when we start pulling away with the lead, then what? Literally everything that these people say trolling, people should do it. And then when they get mad about it, just be like, you told me to do this. Matt Walsh said that colonization was a good thing. Now, Matt Walsh said that colonization is a good thing, but he doesn't like all of the immigrants who are going to Europe. Colonization couldn't have occurred if European immigrants didn't come to places where we were. Do everything that they say to do. And don't do it because they said to do it. See, when they say to do something, it's like a face-off. Like when you about to fight somebody, they be like, I bet you won't hit me. Anytime somebody says they bet you won't hit them, that's exactly when they should feel that crack right across their jaw. Because they're confident enough to think that you're not going to do something. Anybody who tells you to make a move is confident that you're not going to do anything. But they're not prepared to counter the move that you make. So the moment somebody invites you to make a move, always make that move with as much crushing strength as you possibly can first. And 9 times out of 10, they won't even get up from it. That's how you beat a bully up. I'm not about to sit here and try to figure out nonsense and figure out talking points. And I'm not doing none of that. Literally everything that you tell me to do, I'm going to do it better than you do it, to the extent to where it's really harmful for you. And then I'm going to just keep putting the pressure on more and more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? These are crybabies. We're not supposed to cry about Confederate flags. We're not supposed to cry about Confederate monuments. We're not supposed to cry about places in Kentucky and Oklahoma called Dead Negro River, Dead Negro Road, Dead Negro Bridge, Dead Negro Holler. We're not supposed to cry about the Gator Bait song. Not supposed to cry about Aunt Jemima. Okay, don't cry about killing Boers then. Especially seeing how ain't none of them dead. Cry over words. If you want to cry, let me give you something to cry about. Did anybody's parents ever tell them that? Don't fix your face like you about to cry, because I'm going to give you something to cry about. I don't know how many times, but I got told that a lot when I was a kid, and I didn't. I think that's one of the reasons why, like, older generation dudes are not as quick to cry or as quick to be emotional. We got more of an even keel because we got that training, like, as a kid. You better not cry if ain't nothing happened to you. Another thing, then we used to get scared by our parents if we was about to cry. Because for one, if you cried, you about to get called ugly. For two, after you got called ugly, if you still crying, then your parents will scare you and say your face finna get stuck like that. People don't say that kind of stuff no more. See, like, that kind of stuff is looked at as child abuse nowadays. But actually it's not. That's the kind of stuff that made strong people. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay the Informant. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Warriors. What's good with you? You know what I'm saying? So let's see what else. Orange Julius sitting up here talking about.
Cry babies.
I'm not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now.
I can't give a guarantee of the future, especially when things are going the way they are.
Subtext.
Especially if things are going the way they are, there will be a revolution in this country. I can tell you now.
If things continue to go the way they are, then they should be worried. They should be worried. If things continue to go the way they are, oh man, this is great.
We are not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now. That means at some future date, we may call for the slaughter of white people.
White people at some point in their history did not feel that black people needed to be slaves right then. They didn't feel the need to colonize everywhere else right then. How many times do white people poke their chest out talking about a race war? All you gotta do is just go on Twitter. Literally, that's all you gotta do is go on Twitter. There's always some far right person sitting up there talking about a race war. Look at all of those neo-Nazis. Where was that at? In Massachusetts, I believe, or Maine, where they got all that ammunition stockpiled and they bought all that land. You know, they just not gonna go on a massacre yet. Now, they're more upset about him saying yet than they are about Peyton Gendron doing it last year. They're more upset about him saying yet than they are about what went on at Dollar General in Florida. And there's a whole United States system behind all of this rhetoric. Ron DeSantis, people like him Marjorie Taylor Greene being at the head of it. Now, this man, all he said was yet. White children, white adolescents, and white young adults have actually gone and actually done what he said not yet about. And literally, they're making excuses for that. Oh, it's mental health. Vivek Ramaswamy, it's mental health. It's not racism, it's mental health. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Julius Malema was upset this day. Maybe he was a little bit anxious. Maybe it's mental health. Because, you know, when you're black and you live in a WS controlled world, that kind of plays on your anxiety. So maybe it was a mental health issue for Julius Malema. I don't know, man. I don't take him serious, man. I gotta chalk it up as this is harmless. I don't know why these people crying about it. It's mental health. It's mental health. See? 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 I can lie better than you can. I can gaslight better than you can. I think it's time for us to stop showing that we can play sports better than some people can. I think it's time for us to start showing that we can do some evil things better than some people can. Yeah, Julius is just having a bad day. He's the president. He's stressed. He's a high-value South African man. It's stressful. You know, and you know, I mean, you know, he didn't mean it. Because from what I can tell, he's a stand-up dude. See how that works? See how that works? Oh, this is harmless. How many people has he deleted? This is harmless. Oh, he's misunderstood. No, he's a product of his environment. Yeah. Yeah. I think that they should make those FBA fold-out chairs a collector Malema version. What do you guys think? Instead of making a white chair, make a collector's item Julius Malema FBA Riverboat fold-out chair. What y'all think? If y'all think that's a good idea, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't think that that's a good idea, give me a thumbs down. I think that's a great idea. Because everybody needs their symbols. They have their swastikas. They have their rebel flags. We got our fold-out chairs. They'll say that the fold-out chair is a hate symbol. Now, let me ask you guys a question. How many people have fold-out chairs killed? How many lives are the fold-out chairs responsible for deleting? Fun now. I'm gonna say it in Malema's accent. Fun now. See how that works? Now, what I don't understand is why people don't do this. Why people don't do this more. Limited edition only. Facts. Facts. AB.
Is that correct?
Let's deal with that at that future date. I don't know what's going to happen.
Now, I want you guys to read this woke tweet down here. These tears, these delicious tears. Oh, these tears taste so good. All they need is a little bit of turkey stock. You know what I'm saying? Some egg noodles. And they'd be just right. This is really bad for South Africa. This surge of hate against white people is becoming increasingly concerning, but now the apartheid was not. This is all hot air and gaslighting. What have those quote unquote white people done to fix what they did? Anything? Do they even acknowledge that they did anything wrong? Because see, from my observation, if it's not done to another white person, most of them don't even acknowledge that anything was done wrong. It's just something that had to be done so a means could make an ends. They don't even acknowledge that anything wrong was done. Now, these people that are concerned with this surge of hate against white people in South Africa, where were they when the apartheid was installed? Where were they at? Did they feel just as strongly about the hate against black people that created an apartheid system in South Africa? Did they feel that strongly about it? Or were they busy picking emeralds out of stolen emerald mines so that they could make SpaceX and Tesla and funny faces and spam Twitter after they bought it? Which one was they doing? Now, let me ask you guys a question. The events that I'm talking about here, are these real events? Did they actually happen? Am I making this up? Is this woke or is this real? Now, we know that it's real. Any mention of that in this article? Nope. Nope. There's nothing concerning about this. This is just a natural order of things. And it's sad because you see this cycle in macro and micro relationships, and people act like they don't know what time it is. Individuals or groups of people who have been abused over a long period of time ultimately become more abusive than those who abuse them. And that's just how it is. You can't sit around and get abused forever. Yeah, facts. From what I understand, he's leaving the Daily Show. Jada Informant said, "Where's Trevor Noah? He cried about apartheid all the time. Can't find him now." In the system of apartheid, he probably didn't have too much to worry about. They didn't really pick with people like him. They did if he was around a whole bunch of white people, but if there was a bunch of black people and he was there, he kind of got a pass because that system of apartheid had built-in colorism into it. Same way racism here in the United States had built-in colorism into it. I don't know why there's so many conversations like online when it comes to like gender war content and stuff like that about colorism, because it don't benefit us when people have colorist issues. But how come don't nobody ever talk about the colorist issues that benefit the dominant society? Because they actually created colorism. The people that invented the term mulatto, you know what I'm saying? The people that invented the term mestizo, you know what I'm saying? The people that invented the one drop rule, the people that invented the term passing, Those are the colorists. Anybody that has an issue with anybody that they consider a colorist that's not a white person, y'all need to go ask the creators of colorism, well, how do we fix this issue? I don't understand why we deal with problems in that way, and I want to discuss that. When you go to the doctor, do the doctor ask you what you should do to get better, or do you go to the doctor to use his expertise in order for him to give you treatment because he knows about what's wrong with you? The people that created colorism, they know what's wrong with you. If you are somebody that suffers from a colorist issue, you're sick with the symptoms of WS brain damage. Most people are sick. We all are sick. That's the real epidemic. That's the real pandemic. That's the actual global pandemic. Who knew the C in C19 you know what I'm saying? Who knew that C in C19 had two meanings? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is like he said, this is just tears. This is just crybaby stuff. We gotta listen to this again because this is a great clip.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we've not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on.
Now, what I find interesting is that Europe is getting more nationalistic. The far right groups in Europe, they're getting far more nationalistic. How many people watch the international news? The Eastern European countries, the Scandinavian countries, Western European countries, they're getting far more nationalistic. But I want you guys to understand how the world is upset. South Africa trying to do the same thing. Literally, what he's saying is no different than the rhetoric that you hear in Poland. It's no different than the rhetoric that you hear in Ukraine. But we got the biggest problem with this. If they have the biggest problem with this, then that means that this needs to get bigger. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 53 people watching and we got 54 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell and subscribe to the channel, please take a moment, hit the bell and subscribe to the channel. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocidal call.
Cry babies. Cry babies.
I'm not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now.
I can't give you a guarantee of the future, especially when things are going the way they are.
Subtext.
Especially if things are
Now,
going...
I want you guys to see. You guys see how this journalist is all over him for saying this kind of stuff? Literally, when white people make these kind of comments about black people, it's praised. It's encouraged. Everybody says this person is bold. They speak truth to power. They're telling the truth. But look at how he's trying to get him to walk them statements back. Y'all see that?
In the way they are, there will be a revolution in this country, I can tell you now.
We are not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now. That means at some future date, we may call for the slaughter of white people. Is that correct?
Let's deal with that at that future date. I don't know what's going to happen.
So you're saying you
Do you see how this one guy has completely disrupted the entire pan-European world? Man, this is hilarious. Now, this was funny, right? It's hilarious when they do this to us. This is literally no different than what Trump does. It's no different than what any right-wing politician or pundit on the internet does. This is no different. None. They're giving him more of an interrogation than they gave anybody who committed an anti-black genocide here in the United States. I want y'all to peep game on that. Y'all see this, right? Scary. These are the warriors. These are the soldiers. Man, stop it. Stop it. What did Galvatron tell Starscream? This is bad comedy.
are not ruling out that in the future you may very well call for the slaughter of white people.
It may not be me.
Why was nobody this outraged when they were calling for the slaughter of black people and actually doing it? Literally, no one cared. The entire international community watched the genocide of black Americans during slavery and post-slavery, and no one cared. Which gives me full justification to not care about this. In fact, I got to agree with Rob from Denver. If you guys agree with Rob from Denver, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Rob from Denver says WS having to return stolen assets or pay reparations is genocide in their minds. Facts, financial genocide. It's genocide of their easy meal ticket. Oh my God, everything's going to be all gone. That's right. Y'all remember that song that was on the Chronic? Suicide. This is suicide. We need to make the remix, the South African remix. Genocide. It's a genocide. Genocide. It's the genocide. They like remixing songs so much, you know what I'm saying? You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene like Dr. Dre. She like Death Row, you know what I'm saying? Vivi Ramaswamy like, you know, Eminem and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Could it be you?
It could be me, yes, but it may not be me.
Yeah, so it could be you. You could, at some future date, call for the slaughter of white people.
Shoot to kill. Come on, sir. Kill the poor, the farmer.
Yo, this dude trolling wild, man. I'm dead. They got a whole party out here. Man, I'm dead. Man, they are mad about that. Oh, man. See, if we was at where we need to be at, then all the rappers will come out with a song talking about, you know what I'm saying? Try it in a small country. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't there yet. Shout out to Al McCowan. What's good with it? Demon time. You know what I'm saying?
Slaughter of white people.
Shoot to kill.
I'm sorry, man. I know he dead serious, man, but this is hilarious, man. Like, he know exactly what he doing too, man, and it's working. That is what is so funny. This dude is showing the world the fragility, man. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this dude? Shout out to DSA. Man, I'm dead. They actually believe him too. Like, they actually believe it. Like, they think that they just gonna pull out assault rifles at this ceremony and just start going into neighborhoods. Nah, that's what y'all do. Y'all actually do that. They actually have done that here in the United States. If you're not subscribed to Torian Rain, go subscribe to Torian Rain and watch his Black Massacre series playlist. They've actually done that. Man, my dude just dancing around trolling, selling wolf tickets. And they can't handle it. They having a whole kill the boar barbecue and all red and black party.
Slaughter of white people.
Shoot to kill. Come on, sir. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa.
No, this nigga did not say brat. Look, man, they are so scared. Look at this tweet. This is really bad for South Africa. Look, some Negroes with no guns. You know what I'm saying? Some Negroes with no guns, kicking it, chilling, is so bad for white people. That's what they said. This is really bad for South Africa. Not one gun here. The surge of hate against white people is becoming increasingly concerning. They can't take when people do to them what they do to other people. AB Promotion said the color red and black symbolizes death. Well, you hear what they singing about? They singing about death. Shout out to Jesse Parrish. Yo, tell Seduction Doll I said it was good. Oh, man. And they was doing the running man because, you know, when they start coming, going back, some people going to be running, man. They going to creep into your farm like, bruh, man. Oh, man. Man, I was just waiting for 50 Cent to come out and drop a 16 real quick. You know what I'm saying?
To kill. Come on, sir. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa. Pa.
He said, bruh, pa. God damn. Yo, they are so outraged, man. So outraged. They need counsel as a result of the damage that they endured from this tweet. They having a whole pity party with nothing but Taylor Swift playing. Ex-users are showing their sympathy towards white South Africans as some of the rising popular figures in the country are known for these rhetorics. And we're just going to ignore literally every white leader that is anti-black. It's amazing. It is amazing. What this should show, what this should tell you, what this should show you is the end goal of WS. Man, he said shoot to kill. Man, that was hilarious. Brack. Man, that was so damn funny, man. I'm telling you, man, like, African people be natural comedians. Like they be hilarious and don't even be trying to be funny, man. God damn, that shit was funny as hell. Oh man. So now here it says, furthermore, many are sharing their concerns toward the popularity and discriminating against people for the color of their skin. However, this time it's directed towards white people. Now notice how it wasn't popular to talk about how white people were discriminating against people based on the color of their skin. That's because they were getting benefit from it. Hey, what are they talking about? I don't see color. I don't see any racism. I don't see it. Do you see it? How many of y'all see it? Do y'all see any racism? When I'm looking at South Africa, I don't see no racism. I see people who are just proud of their heritage and want states' rights. That's all I see. I don't see anything else. I also think that if people don't like what's going on with the locals, then they should leave. You guys think that them people should leave if they don't like what's going on down there in South Africa? If you guys think that they should, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that they shouldn't, give me a thumbs down. I think they should leave. Get out. Literally, this is what they tell everybody else. They tell everybody else go back to Africa. They tell everybody else to go back to Africa. Now, I want y'all to pay very close attention to this. Literally, no one is outraged about the Buffalo Tops deletion. No one is outraged about the Dollar General deletion. And people were actually killed. But see, in order for people to be outraged, you have to actually consider the people who were harmed people. This proves that they only see white people as people. You're not looked at as a person. You are not a person. Where was the support against the anti-apartheid? Why do people think that they get to hit first, and then when people hit back, the people who hit back are the problem? I want you guys to understand that they are more angry about this little party that they had than when Peyton Gendron had the Black Bloodbath Party. When Ron DeSantis encouraged the Black Bloodbath Party in Florida at the Dollar General. Now, what I want to know is, how come nobody is coming after Ron DeSantis? Because Ron DeSantis has a rhetoric that's just like this guy here. Florida, the state where black people go to die. Fuck out of here. Florida, the state where black people go to die. And then there's a Dollar General massacre where there's a manifesto that's found that this person went there for that very purpose. And all this dude did is said, yet, and hasn't done anything. You got Ron DeSantis and all of these right-wing politicians ordering their goons in Buffalo, New York, and in Florida to delete black people who are actually deleted. This country actually has a archive of massacres against black people, the same way that South Africa has an archive of massacres against black people. And this dude posts some stuff on Twitter and people are outraged like you're not supposed to say anything. You better be happy that that's all people are doing is saying stuff. These people are about to melt over a video and then tell you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps when some cop kills your kid and he was unarmed. And then the whole police station makes memes about it and posts it on 4chan. This guy's rhetoric is no different than Sheriff Villanueva. You guys remember Sheriff Villanueva, who was in Los Angeles? The sheriff? No different. See, the world has an expected order, and the expected world order is for people to abuse you and for you to take abuse. That's the expected world order. The EWO. Where were all of these people who were upset when an actual apartheid was going down? Notice how nobody can answer that question. Notice how that's not anything involving any of these tweets. Because what we'll do is we'll just act like none of this stuff happened. Because how does it affect anybody that's alive today? Well, I find you. Do you notice how nobody's asking that question about this? How does this affect anybody that's alive today? I'm going to tell you how this affects people that are alive today. You've created all of this sediment that's now boiling over, and now it's affecting you, and you don't like it. Do you guys notice nobody's asking that question? How does this affect anybody that's alive today? That's always everybody's favorite question to ask is how does this affect anybody that's alive today? Yet, out of all these eloquently written tweets, there's not one tweet asking the question, well, how does this affect anybody that's alive today? Others shared the stories of what happened in Zimbabwe, where they took land from the white farmers, which sparked massive famine in the country. Several news outlets dubbed this as a man-made famine. Following that, there was a movement in order to bring back these people in lieu of their farming skills. Unfortunately, it's too late. Ex-users fear the future of South Africa if this rhetoric goes on. They state that the country will soon, for obvious reasons, decline further if this is encouraged. What they're saying is that white people are necessary because black people can't build or maintain a civilization. That's literally what this is saying, which is how they justify going everywhere and just extracting the resources because they're necessary for survival. Hey, listen, for one, that's not true, but I'd rather die making my own shit than ever say that I'm dependent on anybody else to live, because I'm not. Discriminating against an individual for their racial background is wrong, regardless of whatever race they are. That's not true. Discriminating against non-black people is looked at by the world as wrong. Discriminating against black people is looked at by the rest of the world as common human practice, which is why the whole rest of the world stood by and watched what they did and didn't do shit. And now when people are standing up for what they have going on in their country, everybody's outraged. Now, is everybody all over the world, did all these Twitter accounts, did any of them have any issue with any of the massacres that took place here in the United States? No, they didn't. If what they're saying is true, and that discrimination against all people is wrong, then all of those people would have said the exact same things that they're saying right now about the Buffalo massacre and about every race massacre that took place here in the United States. But they didn't. And they never will. And the reason why they never will and the reason why they didn't is because they benefited from it. They benefited from it. They benefited from it. They benefited from burning down Tulsa. They benefited from the Wilmington, North Carolina insurrection. They took over the government there. They benefited from it. Every race massacre here was done for a reason of securing power and weakening us. And they see that as heroics. Because somehow our inhalation of oxygen is a threat to their sovereignty. That's literally how they look at it. So now here it says, "Kill the Boer" song fuels backlash in South Africa and the USA. But now, mind you, apartheid did not fuel backlash in the United States. A song fueled backlash in South Africa and the United States, but apartheid did not. As a matter of fact, the United States supported the apartheid regime. The United States and the rest of the world, what we have to contend with is we have to contend with these people believe it as fact that we have no human value. And when you're living in a world where it has been made commonplace for people to conduct themselves justifiably as if you have no human value, you're in constant danger wherever you are. And if you're in constant danger, then by default, that gives somebody else constant safety. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to Black Free Thinker with the $5 super chat. He says yes to the EFF and Malema. Malema wouldn't have to say any of this rhetoric if, when the apartheid was ended, the wrongs of the apartheid were corrected. But the wrongs of the apartheid were not corrected, the same way that the wrongs of slavery have not been corrected, and all you have is people justifying it. They're justifying it. Make it make sense. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you guys to please give a shout out to Brooklyn Queen 125 for the Cash App. Make sure you guys show her some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat and some flames. Definitely appreciate it very, very much. I'm telling you guys, 2024, you all are going to get some really good interactive content that y'all have never seen before. Some good stuff that y'all ain't never seen before. So now it says, but historians and the left-wing politician who embraces it says that it should not be taken literally. Now, we're not supposed to take the national anthem literally, right? In the national anthem, Isn't there a verse in there that says that, you know, come to the United States, part of the United States, American dream to own a slave? We're not supposed to take gator bait seriously. We're not supposed to take dead Negro holler. We're not supposed to take any of that stuff seriously. We're not supposed to take any of that stuff seriously, but all of it exists. Now, here go my question. When they say don't take it serious, we're supposed to just rest. Oh, you know, my dad, you know what I'm saying? He wears that Confederate flag and that swastika hat when he's working on the car. I don't worry about it, man. He harmless, man. Don't worry about it. He harmless. Don't worry about it. Ron DeSantis says Florida is the state where black people go to die, and then there's a massacre. And then he was just kidding. Don't worry about it. You know, and by the way, woke means LGBTQ anyway. But now homeboy Molina says all this. Well, we got to deal with this guy. Well, what do you got to deal with? He hasn't done anything except for just showed how fragile y'all are. What has he actually done? Pissed a bunch of people off. He actually showed how woke the End Wokeness Twitter account is. Man, he really got old boy upset. He really got old boy emotional. Know what I'm saying? So now this is an old article, right? But we gonna go into it anyway. I'm trying to see where the date is. Yeah. So you guys see, this is from August 2nd of 2023. How many people are subscribed to Just Talking with TD and Robb? If you guys are subscribed to the channel called Just Talking with TD, Just Talking with TD and Robb, give me a thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel Just Talking with TD and Robb, give me a thumbs down. Now, the reason why I ask if people are subscribed to that channel is because if you guys recall way back, TD and I actually talked about this. And we talked about Elon Musk's responses to this. Because Elon Musk was crying. He was big mad. He was big mad. You know what I'm saying? The richest man in the world. Big mad. Yeah, that's facts, Michael. That's why I call him apartheid Elon. I call him apartheid Elon. He's one of those apartheid people from the Netherlands that just believe that their skin color entitles them to black people's resources. Now, they never talk about that kind of skin color nonsense. So I want people to understand that anytime you hear this kind of rhetoric, anytime you see this kind of stuff, all you need to do is just make fun of it, man. Troll, laugh. The political rally was winding down when the brash leader of a leftist South African party grabbed a microphone and began to stomp and chant. Thousands of supporters joined in. When he reached the climax, they pointed their fingers in the air like guns. Kill the Boer, Julius Malema chanted, referring to W farmers. The crowd in the stadium in Johannesburg on Saturday roared back in approval. A video clip of that moment shot across the internet and was seized upon by some Americans on the far right who said that it was a call to violence. And they would know because they call to violence all the time. How much far right rhetoric is responsible for anti-black massacres here in the United States? So that's one of the reasons why they can see this stuff so well, because they're the OGs of doing it. And they've actually done it. Here in the United States. You know, they always like to sit there and talk about, well, black people sold black people into slavery. How many black people helped white people massacre black people? Let's here in the United States. Here. The relevant United States that we're talking about. Because, see, when it comes to conversations with them, if they take it international, then it can be international. If we take it international, well, what's wrong with you? You're not able to keep it in the United States? The United States just recently gave approval for more black massacres. They did it in Florida with Ron DeSantis. Literally every other sentence saying Florida is the state where black people go to die. And they did it when they set the precedent of not paying those 3 centurions in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can do this to these people and there'll be no legal recourse. They also justified it by letting Carolyn Bryant live and not letting her spend her pre-casket days in a jail cell. You know what I'm saying? So now here says a video clip of that moment shot across the internet and was seized upon by some Americans on the far right who said that it was a call to violence. That notion really took off when Elon Musk, using his value chain, the South African-born billionaire, and he was not born a billionaire in South Africa. His family were thieves who stole billions of dollars worth of resources from South Africa, who left the country as a teenager, chimed in. They are openly pushing for genocide of white people in South Africa. Mr. Musk, who is white, wrote on Twitter on Monday, the platform he now controls. And they openly genocided black people in South Africa. I want you guys to pay very close attention to this. Now, if they were actually pushing for genocide in South Africa, there would have been a genocide in South Africa. The only genocides that there have been in South Africa are white people genociding black South Africans. But Elon Musk has never tweeted once about that. Now, why do you all think that dynamic exists? That's my question for y'all. Why do y'all think that dynamic exists? Got to be a reason. What's the reason? In recent years, people on the right in South Africa and the United States, including your boy, President Donald J. Trump, have seized on attacks on white farmers to make the false claim that there have been mass killings, while never, ever, 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 ever talking about the massacres that have gone on around the entire world and here in the United States against black people. Mr. Malema leads the economic freedom fighters. Okay, so that's what the EFF is, the economic freedom fighters. That's not a bad name. Fitting. A party that advocates taking white-owned land to give back to South Africans. Now, all of those far-right people, they support the mustache guy. How many people on the right support the mustache guy? We've heard Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? We've heard, Marjorie Taylor Greene. A lot of people on the far right support the mustache guy, which is ironic because actually the mustache guy is an extreme far leftist. That's why they called it National Socialism. Socialism is leftism. But these idiots support that for the sole reason that they're idiots. Now, if the people on the right support the mustache guy the way that they do, then they shouldn't have a problem with Mr. Malema doing what he's doing. Because what he's doing is he's taking stolen property from an abusive minority to provide back to the majority of the people natural to the place where they're at. That is literally the justification of what the mustache guy claimed to have been doing that led up to World War II. And many people on the far right support him and say that what he was doing, Kanye West said it. So Kanye West, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, all of these people that dog whistle support to the mustache guy literally should be cheering Malema on. Would you guys agree? So now when you look at accounts like Stop Woke crying about this, you got to ask, how do you support pre-World War II Germany, but you don't support this? It's the same thing, according to you. Would you guys agree? So how does that work? How do you get that contradiction like that? So now it says that has made his embrace of the chant all the more disturbing to some whites. Well, just imagine how people will be disturbed when people start to embrace villainy. You think the chant is bad. So now it says, despite the words, the song should not be taken as a literal call to violence, according to Mr. Malema and veterans and historians of the anti-apartheid struggle. Now, here's the thing. If nobody has, I find it interesting. The very people that actually had a little oopsie on January 6th, I don't think that anybody in South Africa has had any oopsies. I don't think there's been a January 6th of white farmers. It'd have been all over the news. It'd have been all over Twitter. But the January 6th people are actually acting like they're outraged about an alleged call to violence. I think that's laughable. They're actually also outraged about national socialization when they literally support a guy who claimed that he was nationally socializing. And I also find it interesting that they're on the right and that they support socialism. So again, you got to ask all these questions. And what I'm trying to figure out is, when are people going to get the shovel and start digging in and actually asking these people questions so that their face could melt like that dude on Indiana Jones when he opened up the Ark of the Covenant? Don't somebody want to see somebody's face melt like that? Because that's exactly what's going to happen when they had to start answering those questions and justifying nonsensical rhetoric. Shout out to Jay Ghetto, the puppet master. What's good with it, bro? So the chant was born at a time when Black South Africans were fighting a violent, racist regime and was made popular in early 1990 by Peter Mokaba, a former youth leader in the African National Congress. Now, who was trying to stop this violent, racist regime in South Africa? Who shared equal outrage at that violent, racist regime in South Africa? Nobody cared. So my question is, if nobody cared about that, then why should anybody care about this? Who came to our rescue? I need to know the names of the people that came to our rescue. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. What's good with it, bro? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, take a moment and hit that bell. And also, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment and subscribe to the channel. I need to know the names of the people and the names of the entities that came to our rescue like Superman when apartheid was going on. I need to know what country came in there with a military and stopped the Dutch from doing what they was doing. I want to know what American politicians were saying. They weren't saying anything. I'll give you a hint. It begins with N and ends with a G. Nothing. And I agree with Adrian. Shout out to Adrian. Adrian said, because black denigration is the norm. Whites are so entitled that they think that they are supposed to keep us degraded. Facts, this is what I'm saying. I agree 100%. They believe that this is the status quo. If one of them goes up to you and punches you and you retaliate, literally everybody's head will pop off and they'll say that it's anti-white violence, despite the fact that everybody literally just saw this person walk up to you and punch you in the head. How many times have we actually seen situations like that? Now Asian people are doing it, where they saying racial slurs and attacking people and then only recording the part where they get attacked back. And you got people like Andy No on Twitter sitting up there talking about this is anti-Asian violence coming from black people, but not mentioning when people go and shoot up saloons. So now my thing is that if you want to treat people filthy, if you want to act like we're filthy, we need to give people a reason to call us dirty. That's one of the reasons why I would have such an issue if I was one of those people that got falsely arrested for a crime, because now you owe me that crime. I did 40 years for murder and you said that I did it and I didn't. And I served 40 years of my life and I don't have no body on me. I don't want that $1 million. I want a body of my choosing. That is not a justice system. I'm going to pay you for this mistake that took away your entire life. Nah, I exchanged 40 years of my life for a crime that I didn't commit. I already did the 40 years. That means that I prepaid for a crime. So what that should mean is that I should be allowed to do that crime and walk away. I'm telling you, people need to stop with this settlement stuff. We'll give you $100 million. I want a body. I already served the time. I already served 25 years and I didn't do this crime. This is an exchange. You see, I do a crime, I pay with the time. I paid with the time and didn't get to do the crime. You got to give me a free one of my choice. Of my choice. You need to walk around the rest of your life knowing that at some moment I could exercise that crime on you and get away with it scot-free because you exercised the justice system on me and got away with it scot-free. You know what I'm saying? It's too easy to give away money. You can print up money. You took away 40 years of my life. I can never get that time back. My health has deteriorated. Time has passed. I've missed world events. My family has aged. If I've paid for a crime, when I get out of when y'all justice system figure out that I didn't do the crime, I want my crime. If you put me in for murder, well, just expect at some point before I pass away, somebody's not going to be here. And you're not going to do anything about it because I've already paid for it. I already paid for it. Everybody that's done these crimes, everybody that's gotten falsely accused of these crimes, they already paid for it. That's why there's the scales on justice. That's why there's scales. The scale is still tipped uneven if you get a payout. I didn't do 40 years in jail to earn that. Like, no. If you work and you make over minimum wage, if you had been working the entire time, you know what I'm saying? You probably would have made about $2 or $3 million in the entirety of that 40 years anyway. That's nothing. If I paid for a crime and I didn't get to commit the crime, the scales of justice is still off. If I'm in prison for 40 years and I didn't do nothing, when I get out of jail, hide your kids, hide your wife. It's too easy. It's too easy to pay somebody off. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm talking about. Literally, they're not even talking about the reason why the chant was bored. It's just, oh, they're saying it. How dare them say it? They're saying it against us. How dare them say it against us? Not how dare they do this for centuries. And literally the rest of the world, the Arab world, Asian world, their silence is compliance. So they're all on board with it. Don't let them fool you. Screw that people of color nonsense. They only people of color when they want to get some free shit or some benefits, or they want to be in a club or a group of people or go kick it with some cool people and they don't want to get their ass beat. Now they'll expect you to get them to pass to the barbecue so that they could go kick it at the hood spot with you. But when they having a family celebration, they got every excuse in the world why you ain't allowed to go to it. They want you to give a hood pass to them. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to give no culture pass to you. You know what I'm saying? People should pay attention to that. Transact. So now here it says, but the ANC, the Liberation Party that has governed South Africa since the beginning of multiracial democracy nearly 30 years ago. So they just started multiracial democracy 30 years ago, and all of these people act like they have no idea what was going on. All of these people that cry about this stuff, literally everybody was still alive when the apartheid was going down in South Africa. Everyone was still alive. It's not one of those, well, how does this affect anybody that's alive today? Elon Musk was still alive. How did that affect anybody that's alive today? It bought Elon Musk Twitter. The apartheid bought Elon Musk Twitter. The apartheid bought Elon Musk SpaceX. The apartheid bought Elon Musk Tesla. That's how it affected people that are alive today. Now, this Liberation Party here, they sound like the Congressional Black Caucus. The Liberation Party that has governed South Africa since the beginning of multiracial democracy nearly 30 years ago distanced itself from the song, probably because it was making people feel bad, in 2012, the same year that it expelled Mr. Malema for his incendiary statements. So Mr. Malema was talking some Killmonger shit, and Jim Clyburn, the African version of Jim Clyburn and them, was sitting up there talking about, oh, you know what I'm saying? So they got him up out of there. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Black Free Thinker, who has supported the channel for 3 months. Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure you guys throw some flames and radiation emoji in the chat for Black Free Thinker. And shout out to Hurricane IQ, who supported the channel for 4 months. Please make sure you guys show Hurricane IQ some love. Throw some radiation emoji and some flames in the chat. Bongani, hopefully I'm saying this right, Kulunga, who teaches politics at the University of Johannesburg, recalled struggle songs from the apartheid days in which people proclaimed they were going to march to Pretoria, the capital city, or that Nelson Mandela would be released from prison the next morning. The people singing these songs were not actually planning to march to Pretoria, nor did they really think that Mandela was about to be released, he said. Similarly, he said the phrase kill the Boer, and the words mean farmer in Dutch and Afrikaans, is not meant to promote violence against individual farmers. It was a call to mobilize against an oppressive system. So one thing that I want people to understand is that white people that get offended when people talk about white supremacy, you could tell somebody that's a real one versus somebody that's not. Somebody that's a real one is going to listen to what you say and not get offended by it at all. They're just going to listen. Somebody that's not a real one, somebody that's on board with this, when you start talking about white supremacy, they're going to start saying that you're being anti-white. They're going to start saying, oh, evil white people, blah, 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 blah. And they're going to try to combine whites. White people will do with Black Lives Matter the same thing with white supremacy. So you know how they use Black Lives Matter as a dog whistle when they're actually talking about black people? They will try to say that white supremacy is a dog whistle for white people, which is hilarious because, as we all know, all white supremacists ain't white. But this is how they attempt to try to use psychological combat to derange internal politics and confuse messages, which it shouldn't be any type of confusing of any type of message, because when people start attempting to distract you from reality, you really shouldn't, continue to engage in those distractions from reality. If you are sitting around and somebody gaslighting and you telling you that the sky is green, you really probably should stop dealing with them. The same way that people should not engage with somebody that tells you to drink bleach. But I know in November, there's going to be a lot of people that vote for somebody that told people to drink bleach. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, Nomangala Kaizi, a historian at Nelson Mandela University, said of the chant, young people feel that it rouses them up when they sing it today. I don't think that they intend to mean any harm. It doesn't matter if it means harm or not. It's part of the landscape. Nobody told white people to do that to the locals there, and they did it to the locals there. And as a result, they've ingrained that trauma into the culture. It is what it is. You just deal with it. You just walk past and hear a group of kids singing that and hope that when they become adults, they don't materialize on it because you helped create the culture. You helped to create the culture and you did nothing to repair any damage, and don't acknowledge that there's any damage, because what they say is that everyone was in disarray when they found everybody. So they couldn't have possibly done anything wrong by all of the abuse that they did, because they were abusing themselves by living in what they called disarray. That's literally their logic, which is one of the reasons why I want people to start creating your own logic. Like, stop listening to what people say about these kind of situations and start investigating them for yourself and come to your own conclusion. Remember, one of the main purposes of all of this stuff is to make it seem that you're confused, to make it seem that you're incompetent. The idea of all of this is to make the world gaslight you into believing that you're crazy. Neely Fuller Jr. literally said that. So that is one of the reasons why it is extremely important for people to always have a mastery of the facts and a mastery of information and a mastery of the ability to be able to disseminate those facts and that information very accurately and precise. You should be hitting the bullseye every time you throw a dart. Facts. Exactly, Adrian. Facts. If you guys agree with Adrian, give me a thumbs up. Adrian said they raised several generations on violence. So guess what language the people speak? Violence. And they acting like they confused. They're not confused. Anytime people act like they're confused because of something that they did, we need to start asking the same question that they ask us, the IQ question. So now here it says, but John Steinhausen, the white leader of the Democratic Alliance, which it's interesting how that occurred. South Africa's main opposition party filed charges this week against Mr. Malema at the United Nations Human Rights Council and claimed, without providing evidence, that brutal farm murders continue to escalate in the wake of Malema's demagoguery. Analysts say that Mr. Steinhausen is eager to placate white South Africans who might be attracted to parties to his right ahead of elections next year. Mr. Malema, who thrives on provocation, projected a boss attitude towards the criticism. Bring it on, small boy, he wrote in a tweet to Mr. Steinhausen. Man, this dude is my hero. Oh, man. That's hilarious. Oh, man. So now it says, asked during a news conference on Wednesday about Mr. Musk's comment, Mr. Malema responded, "Why must I educate Elon Musk? He looks like an illiterate. The only thing that protects him is his white skin." See, See? What black politician here in the United States is talking to people like that? You ever heard Jim Clyburn say anything like that? No. You ever heard Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams say anything like that? No. He said, "Why must I educate Elon Musk? He looks like an illiterate. The only thing that protects him is his white skin." Mr. Malema emphasized a court ruling last year that said he was within his rights to chant "kill the Boer." I mean, this guy's a First Amendment advocate. How do the conservatives not love him? This guy should be praised by every American conservative. Why are you dumb? Are you stupid? Are you an idiot? This guy's a First Amendment advocate. Clearly, he supports having guns. And he says the same things about white people that white people say about black people. How do they not love this guy? Hypocrisy. And I want you guys to make sure that you understand that. The fact that these people do not embrace this dude shows the direction that all of this stuff is supposed to be pointed in. What's the difference between this dude in South Africa and Donald Trump in the United States, or Ron DeSantis in the United States? The only difference is that he's actually justified, because the people that he's talking about have violently abused the majority population there for centuries. He said, "I will sing this song and when I feel like." He said, "I will sing this song as and when I feel like." Just over a decade ago, a South African judge ruled that the song was hate speech and prohibited Mr. Malema, then leader of the ANC Youth League, from singing it. Nobody's complaining about them trying to cancel him. I mean, this guy is subject to cancel culture. They're trying to utilize the court system. They're trying to utilize infrastructure to stop him from saying what's on his mind. And I mean, sometimes there's just harsh truths. Sometimes things are just harsh truths. Right? And now he's being canceled. Mark Dice, Salty Cracker, Tim Pool, Actual Justice Warrior, and the entire Geeks and Gamer squad should be the first to make videos supporting this man. And the woke of the world trying to stop his free speech. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. I'm going to fall back. Matter of fact, I'm finna fall back. Hold up. I'm about to adjust my chair real quick. I'm going to lean this bad boy back. I'm finna fall back. I'm going to let them anti-wokers handle this one. Make sure y'all protect this man free speech. AfriForum, an organization that advocates for the interests of Afrikaners, descendants of South Africa's white colonizers, took Mr. Malema to court. Oh, are the white people in South Africa the cancel mob? Am I reading this correctly? Are they the cancel mob? Is these the illest people in South Africa? Is you bout it, fool? Is these the illest colonizers in South Africa? Is you bout it, fool? DOCs, descendants of colonizers. They took Malema to court, which is ironic because if anybody needs to be in court, it needs to be them. They should be staying. That's how you know that things haven't gotten to the way they need to get in South Africa, because them kind of people should be staying as far away from a court as they possibly could. You know what I'm saying? Last year, Judge Edwin Molahi ruled that AfriForum had failed to show that the lyrics in the songs could reasonably be constructed to demonstrate a clear intention to harm or incite and propagate hatred. Before Democracy, the song was directed at the apartheid regime, which again, nobody did anything about. Who did anything about the apartheid regime? It just eventually fell apart. The international community was silent. Right. Them South African farmers sitting there like, I don't like that. I don't like them singing that song. I don't like that mess at all. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take that to the court. We finna drop a dime on them. You know what I'm saying? Old boy was a Pookie Karen in Belly. Talking about he gonna drop a dime. He added, and more particularly to the dispossession of the land of the majority members of society by the colonial powers. Mr. Malema testified during that court proceeding that the lyrics should not be interpreted literally. The song, he told the court, was directed toward the government's failure to address a disparity in land ownership between black and white South Africans. What I need everybody to do is I need everybody in this comments section to leave a comment after the video telling me the American politician who has the guts and nuts to talk like Malema. That is all. So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to shout out to stream sponsors. Shout out to DSB. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. Shout out to AB Promotions. Shout out to Miss Nisi with the 4 months of membership support. And also shout out to her with the $5 super chat. Shout out to Val Williams. Shout out to DSB for upgrading his membership, I think is what that is. Shout out to Val Williams with the 16 months of membership support. Anybody that's been a member for over a year, throw some super flames in the chat for them. Shout out to Carla Lockhart with the 16 months of membership support. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Black Free Thinker for the 3 months of support. Shout out to Hurricane IQ with the 4 months of support. And shout out to Shamika Gray for the 7 months of support. I appreciate you guys. We got a buzzer beater. Shout out to Tia with the 7 months of support. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city, that's on my knee, that's on TV, that's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging all that face. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, I'm really him. Hold up, look, walking this like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey.